Ever since the release of Star Wars The Last Jedi, a lot of fans around the world have been hoping that J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio will be doing something very special for the character of Luke Skywalker, in which he is. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, looking specifically at Episode 9, we do know that this is not only an important film for both Disney, Lucasfilm, and especially J.J. Abrams, since he is the one responsible for the overall story of the last film in the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga. So it's a huge thing for him to get this right, and it's the reason as to why there have been quite a number of script rewrites and adjustments here and there, and some reshoots planned in the near future for the first act of this movie. Nothing major, but just minor stuff. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Luke Skywalker and Rey in Star Wars Episode 9. Specifically, a description of Luke Skywalker in front of Rey on a jungle world. In the background are what appears to be ancient stone steps that lead to some runes that could be a Jedi temple of some kind. Luke appears to be in his physical form as if he is not dead, but may still be a Force ghost and more solid this time. No blue hue is described in the sequence. Luke holds his iconic green lightsaber hilt as seen in Return of the Jedi in his hands. However, not ignited as Rey examines it. This could be one of Luke's lessons to Rey of teaching her how to develop a lightsaber just like his own. Luke's face here has no beard and shorter hair, shorter than the hair on Crate 4 Luke. He wears a brown robe with white sleeves. Very interesting stuff for sure. I've always suggested a Luke Skywalker having no beard since well before The Force Awakens even hit theaters. And, the fact that Mark Hamill, he has shared his face before on Twitter just before they began shooting for Star Wars Episode 9, where he took the beard off. So it's quite possible that that lines directly up with this in that sequence where Luke does not have a beard in Episode 9. We'll have to wait and see. Now, looking at Episode 9 specifically, I believe that this all has to do with Rey's third and final lesson. Now, canon-wise, I believe, because deleted scenes I think are not considered canon, not quite sure about The Last Jedi's case, but in The Last Jedi, there was a third lesson that was cut from the movie that was more or less a lesson in my opinion. So with that being said, in The Last Jedi, we only got 2 lessons, and Luke Skywalker promised 3. So I think that what they were doing, of course, was they actually are using that third lesson that was cut from The Last Jedi, and will actually be redoing that lesson as a way to give Luke some purpose in Episode 9 to have a scene with Rey. We do know that a massive set is being built over at Cardington, one of which has all to do with both Mark Hamill and Adam Driver separately, and the other has to do with only Daisy Ridley and Mark Hamill. So that also suggests that Luke's Force Ghost will appear multiple times in this film for both of our characters of Kylo Ren and Rey. As far as Luke Skywalker holding the iconic green lightsaber, I don't know about you guys, but it almost sounds like he's handing it over to Rey. As much as I want Rey to have her own lightsaber and to kind of shift away from adopting lightsabers, I don't know, guys. I mean, why else would Luke be holding a lightsaber in front of Rey? We'll have to wait and see exactly how that's going to be done on the big screen. Now, if you guys read The Last Jedi novelization, you will know that it actually goes over, well, a vague answer as to where Luke's green lightsaber actually resides. It goes over how Luke's Jedi weapon is stored in one of the huts on Ahch-To, but it doesn't say lightsaber, so it could very well just be that electric shocker thing that he was using in The Last Jedi. I don't know. But apart from all of that, looking at Episode 9 here, the whole entire sequence featuring these ancient stone steps that lead to an ancient structure, we've heard about this before in the past many times, and this could absolutely be yet another Jedi temple in Episode 9. And quite honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised if Rey is now the one responsible for recovering as much Jedi lore as possible in order to restart the Jedi Academy, the Jedi Order, if you will. Because now that Luke's dead, you know, he really can't do much now that he's a part of the netherworld of the Force and as a Force ghost. Other than that, Luke will probably be used in the form of flashbacks, but as much as fans want him to come back to life, J.J. Abrams has said before that no, you're dead, get used to it all. He could be lying, yes, that's a possibility, but we'll have to wait out and see exactly what happens for that. Now, as far as this ancient structure goes on this jungle world, could this be the jungle world that was actually being used over at Black Park in the UK? Now, Black Park, that whole entire sequence, by the way, is all wrapped and done shooting. So they're done with that. Now, that was apparently for, I believe it was the first act of the movie. So that could very well tell us that we could see Luke as early as the first 30 minutes of Episode 9. Unless that's a different world entirely and we have 2 jungle planets in Episode 9. Guys, I gotta say, I'm just really crossing my fingers that J.J. Abrams really gets it right when it comes to the character of Luke. We do know that a lot of people were upset about how he was used in The Last Jedi, and given that this is the final Skywalker film, we do know that J.J. and Chris Terrio are going to be doing amazing things for the character. They're going to be doing special things for the character of Luke in order to keep his legacy alive, in order for fans to remember him in the way that we should remember him, right? The iconic Jedi hero that we all loved and actually saw in the original trilogy. So, moving things forward here with the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is not as involved in Episode 9 as how she was with The Last Jedi, that's one good sign for sure in my book. And for the character of Luke, guys, I'm just very excited, very curious, I should say, as to exactly how he will be used in the overall plot of this movie. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to moon.